In this big world we live in, there is a lot of imaginative people out there who possess a slightly different outlook on life, and a mind full of bizarre thoughts. Fortunately, a considerable number of them have become video game developers, and harness their out-of-the-ordinary ideas to make some of the most frightening and creepy indie horror games that can definitely make us wonder if we are playing to have fun or to take our ability of enduring fear to the limits. But somehow, even when their work makes us mentally uncomfortable, the feeling of suspense pushes us to keep going. Game companies, with their unlimited budgets and corporate oversight, generally do not make games that are meant to terrify you. They may have hostile entities for you to fight. However, they also make sure you have the means to protect yourself, which makes the experience less intense for your mind. But gladly, the makers of independent horror games don't mind if they don't appeal to a wide audience, as long as they can satisfy the hardcore horror devotees who crave the thrill of being powerless, desperate, and alone.
One stormy night in 1993, two young girls decided to stay in a remote cottage in the forest of the Middle East. The cottage was said to be haunted, but the girls paid no mind to the rumors and spent the night there. 2 days later, a local found one of the girls 300 meters away from the cottage, sitting on her knees, murmuring what seemed to be a sign. Some days later, the girl was found hanging from her neck by a large tree. 2 years after the incident, 3 male students decided to stay in the same cottage to prove the rumors wrong, but they were never heard from again. John Martin, a 32-year-old professional journalist, after some research, took interest in the story and decided to travel to the cottage to investigate it personally.
Silence Channel is a psychological horror game in which you need to solve puzzles and investigate murky settings in order to uncover the secrets of the story. The protagonist is the journalist John Martin. He is assigned to go to a distant place to investigate reports of strange sightings. He initially believes it is merely a superstitious belief, so he shows up at the location in the morning when there is heavy fog. His plan is to take some pictures, talk to the people living nearby, and then leave to write his article. But does he have the guts to enter the mysterious mansion and explore the paranormal activities inside? The answer is for you to determine.
What the... There was a door here. Am I hallucinating? What was that?
You will delve into a peculiar and shadowy manor house, exploring its mysterious past. Inspired by detective games, this game offers a 3D environment with numerous areas to explore. As you search for clues, combine objects, and crack puzzles, you will be pursued by danger in the mansion all the time, which will make you uncomfortable and stressed while you're trying to find the solutions. It appears that an unfortunate event has occurred in this large place, and the unidentified individual who is still present is expecting someone to draw near enough to discover the truth. Your main focus is to take pictures and uncover the inexplicable, as you investigate the residence that is rumored to be haunted.
Why is there a TV in here? Who left it on? Jesus! What was that? I think that's enough for my report. I better go back. What the?
This game combines randomly generated occurrences, realistic visuals, and intense horror motifs. But one of the most elements that makes it even more interesting is the fact that the developers stated that it's based on true story that happened in real life. So if you're a horror fan, then this title will definitely keep you busy.
Säg inget. Det är hemligt. Lova inte säga något. Du måste svära på hedersord. Lova. Aldrig säga till någon.
Trenches is a first-person survival horror game depicting the First World War. Players must grapple with the close confines and experience the conflict from the perspective of a soldier who has been left behind enemy lines. As they attempt to make their way back to the safety of their family, they must battle not only the enemy, but also their own mental state. You will take on the role of James, caught behind enemy lines, and must find a way to stay alive and get back to your relatives. This surreal nightmare will challenge your mental health, as you use your hearing and a trench whistle to make your way through the treacherous war zone. Scavenge for clues to help you better comprehend the situation and keep from being detected as you try to escape the enemy trenches. Trenches stands out in pretty much every design element. The sound design convinces you that you're safe through short periods of calm before you can hear the moans of combatants from afar. Even the noises of the monster give you a stark reminder of how foolish it was to take that route that ended in a dead end. The beast's design was basic yet incredibly creepy when you spot it through a crack in the wall. But the most impressive part is the trenches themselves. This labyrinth will make you pause the game and try to figure out which way is north. Just like a rat in a maze, you'll end up running the same area multiple times without noticing. All these positive designs form an expertly crafted atmosphere that will make many indie horror game fans satisfied, yet confused at the same time. Locked Up is a first-person psychological thriller that was developed by the well-known team Emika Games, the same people who made the amazing title Summer of '58. The game is set in a house where something terrible happened. As you advance through the story, you will explore the same hallway numerous times to uncover the sources of insanity and comprehend your identity. The game description states that it is feasible that an individual may have epileptic seizures due to heightened light sensitivity. Consequently, it is suggested to impose a prudent limit on the people who are allowed to play it. The central point of the experience is investigating the atmosphere in a sealed-off area, which will be altered after it is interacted with. You must rely on your intuition and pay close attention to the details of the environment. With time, the stress will increase, making a kind of madness. The story is not unveiled in a straightforward fashion, and nearly no obvious hints, so you must count on your senses if you want to make it through. Don't Knock Twice is an interactive horror game based on a nerve-wracking urban myth. 1 knock to wake her from her bed, 2 knocks to raise her from the dead. At first that sentence seems weird and confusing, but you'll get it when you dive into the story. This first-person horror game has the added bonus of virtual reality support, making it an incredibly realistic experience. A remorseful mother is required to uncover the chilling reality at the back of the urban tale of a malevolent demonic witch in order to rescue her estranged daughter. You need to investigate a grand manor house and interact with almost every item in sight. To get the daughter back, you must search the entire mansion for secret signs and use tools to battle or escape the fear that is surrounding you. This experience is connected with the 2017 horror movie which has the same name, starring Katie Sackhoff. Playing the game is scary, but playing it on VR is a whole new level of immersive horror. So, if your heart can't handle shocking events and jump scares, then make sure to avoid such experience. Within Scary is a horror game that focuses on inducing fear and suspense in the player. It has a dark and sinister story that will make the players tremble with fright. And let's not even talk about the creepy sound effects that were designed to further enhance the terror. The story states that in the old book, which called The Accumulation of Evil, it is believed that when negative energy accumulates in one place, a vile power may arise. At an isolated isle, a large mansion was used to host significant figures from all over the globe, including world leaders and rich men involved in all kinds of business. It is presumed that these influential and affluent leaders participated in awful activities, such as trading firearms and drugs, illegally selling humans, and even committing murders. These people have been missing for weeks now, and no one has heard from them. Attempts to contact them and locate them have been unsuccessful. Internet users who follow this situation suggest that these individuals have been done away with on the cursed island. Some people have referred to the accumulation of evil book, while others think it is all a misunderstanding. But no one can be sure. Your objective as the protagonist is to go to the Isle and try to find out the truth. It isn't too far away from the mainland, so in theory, you're supposed to take a look and return. But things will not go easy as planned, because the place is darker than you can ever imagine.
Now rest with my daughters.
In Hotel Greenwood, players can experience a chillingly suspenseful horror and thriller game with a first-person view. As they explore this eerie hotel and its oppressive atmosphere, they must solve the puzzles and uncover the history that resulted the tragic events that transpired in the past. This game takes place in an isolated hotel situated in the woods of Greenwood City, England. You will find yourself in the lonely, yet luxurious hallways of the building, but you won't be alone as you will have a companion to provide you assistance. But be careful, maybe there are other eyes observing you as well.
Damn it. The situation is worse than we thought. I'm going to send a team there right away. In the meantime, find a way to get in.
When Ashley Anderson, an employee of the Greenwood Hotel, passed away, some peculiar events occurred. On October 6, 2012, Ashley went to clean room 352 and was attacked by the inhabitants of the room. Despite all the efforts, she died. The murderers later divulged that they had employed Ashley for their ritual. Exactly 1 year after the incident, the family who were staying in room 352 were also found dead. The detectives were unable to discover any evidence that revealed the cause of the family's demise. With the police unable to resolve this puzzling event, they closed the hotel. However, a rumor started that every October 6th, the lights of the hotel turn on and mysterious noises can be heard. To get to the bottom of this, the authorities opted to assign the mission to a young detective, Aaron Parker. Now the question is, are these allegations correct? Are the sounds really coming from the hotel? It won't be a straightforward task for Detective Parker to unriddle the paranormal occurrences at this haunted hotel. One of the elements that makes this game even more scary is the fact that it takes place in a hotel. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, hotels are definitely among the creepiest places to be alone in. I can't exactly identify what makes it bizarre, but I think it's the fact that hotels are basically public houses where all kinds of people come and go, and sometimes they can leave some secrets behind. And let's not forget that many dreadful real-life occurrences happen in hotels too, like murders and dead bodies being found under beds. I don't know if it's just me, but hotels and hospitals are definitely two places that give me the worst vibes when I visit them at night, especially if they're empty. Which explains why they became a source of inspiration for many horror games. So, if you share those feelings with me, then this game is definitely for you.
I wish to contact the spirit of Aldwin Atkinson. Please give me a sign if you're here.
The Dark Occult is a horror game that creates a psychological atmosphere of tension and dread. Players will also come across repulsive, mysterious creatures that can cause instant death. The only choice you have is to try to make it out alive. In the Dark Occult, people will begin the game exploring a house that appears to be deserted, but is really swarming with evil forces. Players are sent to the Atkinson house to uncover the mystery behind the death of the person who lived there. Once they enter, they find out they can't get out, and a demonic female entity is chasing them with the intention to kill them. They must break down demonic objects if they want to stay alive. Everyone needs to pay attention to each move and be aware of the woman who is always nearby. The Dark Occult totally wraps players in an atmosphere of fear, alarm, and real consequences that will leave them traumatized.
Robert? Robert, is that you? Wait! Wait! Where did he go?
This game takes more than 4 hours to finish, so if you decide to start playing it, make sure that you'll be able to finish the journey, even though it will be harder than you think. The experience is pretty much an emulation of a horror movie, but the difference is that your actions can decide how the scenario will go. I really hope that today's list lived up to your expectations. My ultimate purpose was to highlight a few of the most interesting and creepy indie horror games out there, without repeating the same popular ones. Because I'm pretty sure many of you already know about Madison and Visage, so mentioning them wouldn't be very useful for people like me, who believe that there are tons of horror titles that came out over the last few years, but didn't get the attention they deserve. If you enjoy the video, please make sure to give it a like, so I can understand that making more similar videos will capture your interest. Until the next one, stay safe and be ready for everything.